Tuning in to the online broadcast network, AFTERBUZZ TV. Over 20 million weekly downloads in over 150 countries, and your number one source for after-show entertainment. AFTERBUZZ TV, the destination for TV superfans, producing after shows for over 300 of your favorite TV shows, interviewing celebrities and showrunners, and bringing you behind-the-scenes exclusives. All thanks to E! Entertainment's Maria Menounos, producer Kevin Undergaro, and internet leader Akamai. Now, let the buzz begin!
It's 1995 themed. There you go. Welcome, After Buzzers. I am Michael Andrew. Thank you for coming to another Hindsight After Show. Please, this episode will be entitled, this is for Cranberries. I was expecting a Cranberries theme song throughout the whole thing, but...
Yeah, we never did that, huh?
I know, I asked Emily last week.
I wonder why that is.
I know, you figured that would have happened, especially in this show.
Yeah.
But no.
It's just that double entendre, title that they wanted to work in there.
I know, it led me on.
It's really just about the Cranberries.
Yeah, I know, the whole necklace
String
thing.
camera, yeah.
All right, so please, you guys can please go to youtube.com/AfterBuzz and please subscribe. You can communicate with us on hashtag AfterBuzz, AFTBZ, ABTV, Hindsight. And please tweet us, let us know what's going on. You can catch me on Twitter at Michael_Drew, that's EAL. And our guest, Nick Clifford, your Twitter is?
The Nick Clifford.
The Nick Clifford.
It's easy enough.
Welcome.
Thanks, man.
Thank you. So glad we were watching some of the show earlier today.
Yeah.
We had a good time.
Yeah.
It was just me and you. I had
just
coffee,
chilling in the trailer,
enjoying.
watching the show.
Now, let's just jump off. This was pretty much Thanksgiving at Becca'S' parents. The whole show began with everyone heading towards Becca'S for Thanksgiving at her parents.
Yeah.
And just off the top, how did you feel about the show?
Oh, I love this episode. I mean, like we were saying earlier, one of the fun things is that it's everybody coming together in one room, know? So you have this pressure cooker of all of the stuff that's unsaid, plus, Thanksgiving is just a stressful time in general, like you've got family members, you've got drinking, you've got people who aren't normally drinking together, referencing mainly Aunt Libby because she's amazing.
Great, the introduction of Aunt Libby. I found it so crazy that Becca even invited Andy.
Yeah.
And when I saw that they got there, I was like, wow, they're really going for the gusto. Like everyone was in one place at one time.
Well, you also have to remember that she's never really. It's not so clear to her family, except maybe to her dad, how much there is between her and Andy. So it would be weird if she didn't invite him, which I think given how she wants to believe that she's over him and that she made the right decision, I think she almost brings him there to kind of test to see whether she is actually comfortable with him being around, and obviously not so much.
And it goes to the opening scene. As soon as the moment you run into Becca and Shawn, you guys play awkward so well.
So
that whole
fun.
moment is
so
just
fun.
It's so.
We actually had such a fun time shooting that one little shot in the doorway because basically Tara, who was directing, she just. She was like, let's just push it more awkward. How can we make it even more awkward? What, there was a great moment where Melanie Jessie leans over the box that Becca's carrying to give her this really awkward hug, and it's you've got food in between you. God, it's so good.
Yeah, I noticed that after that. I thought that hug was I was about to ask. Was that how many times did you guys do that off? It was.
We shot. I feel like everybody really loved to play on the show, so rarely was there a take that was identical to the last one. So we would often try and find new stuff. But I don't know. It's just I think awkward is the most fun thing to play because. It's like a competition of who can just be even more uncomfortable, and for whatever reason, Andy and Melanie have so much of that. Everything that they do is so awkward. Yeah. Even with each other when nobody's watching.
Yeah, I know. And I thought I really enjoyed Andy's leap in this episode. Like, this was like the I don't want to say like the Andy episode, but by the end of this episode, I kind of looked at Andy.
He's got a little balls.
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
Yeah.
Last week on this panel, I pretty much said that I'm feeling iffy towards him.
Yeah.
He's acting kind of douchey.
Yeah,
or
totally.
just the way you're acting.
Yeah.
But this episode, you really took it. Well, Andy took it to a whole
totally.
Were you excited about playing?
I mean, I think I was really excited that I've always really liked the dynamic between Andy and Shawn, because Andy is the polar opposite of Shawn in everything from, you know, the way that women are looking at him to the way that he confronts, like, you know, an emotional problem. You know, Shawn is all, you know, screaming at the TV and he's excited, you know, and he's sort of impulsive, and Andy's just kind of sitting back going like, you know, take her out to a nice dinner.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
And I love, and it was fun too to play with, like, you know, is he really apologizing, or is he actually finding that it's fun making fun of Shawn? Is he actually trying to gain something from making fun of Shawn? Like, is he actually trying to get Shawn to get angry and embarrass himself? You know, it's a lot of mind games.
It's like we said in the trailer before we came in here, because we were watching the episode together.
Okay.
It's like the most passive aggressive.
Yeah.
Everything in this episode is just so passive aggressive.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, good luck.
Yeah, because
take her out to dinner.
Yeah, exactly. Because you know, but it's like that whenever you go to like a holiday party, right? It's like everyone has this veneer of like, oh, we're so happy and it's so great now, our lives are so great, and then slowly but surely over the course of the night, everybody starts to kind of let their true colors slip a little bit. And I think that, you know, once Andy and Shawn are left alone, you know, I think something about Shawn's sort of like, you know, I'm all good, mate. You know, everything's great. I was like, I think Andy's like, don't play that game, man. We are not cool. And I'm not angry at you, but I think you're a fool, you know. And good luck with round 2 of getting, you know, Becca back.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna transition to Shawn, but staying on that.
Yeah.
When you guys were watching the football game together, I liked how Andy took every chance he could to just stick it in him. Like, even to when they bet on the game.
Yeah. Totally.
And then afterwards, when he gave him the money.
Yeah. Oh, there's a real power play with money too. You know?
Even when he loses, he's not upset.
Yeah.
He's like, here you go.
Yeah, whatever. You know, because it's almost like this doesn't actually mean anything to me,
and
but
I probably
it does
have more
to
money
you.
than you.
Yeah. I don't think we really know what Andy does for a living, but we see his apartment. We get a sense that he's sort of, you know, maybe a, you know, like a software programmer, something where there's some money involved.
And Shawn is the struggling artist.
Shawn's the struggling artist.
Because even when the show opens up and they're getting out of the taxi, and when he offers to pay, there's this look on Becca's face.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Normally I pay.
Right. I was thinking, even as we were watching it, I hadn't really thought about it when we were shooting it so much as watching it, but man, Becca's house is so nice. Like, her family's house is so... We were just saying, we were like, that bathroom is huge.
Yeah, it is.
You know? I mean, there was enough space to have 2 girls sitting on the floor, legs open, like, with the bottle of wine, and you were still, like, plenty of room in there.
In, like, the Upper West Side of New York.
Yeah.
You know how expensive that is?
Oh, my God. Well, that's where I grew up. I grew up on the Upper West Side.
So do you know how expensive that is?
I know exactly how expensive it is.
Now, to go to Becca and Shawn.
Yeah.
We start off with this episode with them. It's not exactly where Becca wants it to be.
Yeah.
You know, in her mind, every time they're together, it's always passionate, love, technically the opposite of how she views her relationship with Andy.
Exactly, yeah.
But when this episode starts off, it's nowhere near there.
Yeah.
And it looks like it's getting away from her. And she just looks completely out of it and confused.
Yeah.
And it's like she's trying to like jam the timeline back to what it's supposed to be.
Well, it's this moment where she's suddenly like, oh, okay, maybe things are returning back to the way they were, because it's like Thanksgiving, and now I have Shawn back again. And, you know, I think the thing that she forgets is that Shawn went through a huge change when she left him, you know? Yeah. It's kind of the same thing if anyone's ever been in a relationship where you broke up and then you got back together, you know, like whether it's a day or a month or years, when you meet that person again, you have this false sense of intimacy because you think that we're back to where we are, but the sheer process of ending something and breaking up is a huge, you know, life-altering, you know, experience. And I think Shawn is like, he's trying to be, you know, respectful, he's trying to be thoughtful, he's trying to be, you know, considerate with taking care of her. It's a different kind of Shawn, and I feel like, you know, he's not necessarily finding the same... That Becca has made the same kind of progress that he has. So maybe that's a little bit confusing.
I was saying to myself, because clearly I haven't spoken to anyone about this yet. I was saying to myself that for Becca, it must look like to everyone else how self-centered and egocentric she is.
Yeah.
Because in her mind, she thinks she's just trying to help everybody.
Right.
But according to, like, if you see Shawn or Andy, in your eyes, you're just like, wow, you guys must have the feeling that she's just completely and utterly.
I think if we knew the whole story,
well,
right? But I mean, I think like when you look at it, even like it's funny because like even as the show is progressing, I remember we started to have concerns of like, are people gonna hate Becca? Like, is she too self-centered?
Yeah.
But the reality, I mean, the show is about her, so it's gonna be centric on her. But at the same time, like, you know, she's struggling with that thing of like, I know something that you don't, and that's why I'm acting this way, but I can't tell you. And so, of course, people are just, you know, thinking that she's, you know, self-centered and narcissistic and everything's about her. And it's almost like you said, she wants to cry out and be like, no, but it's just because I know more than you do, and I'm trying to help you, and because you're fighting me, we're stumbling, and, you know, we're not ending up where we should.
As the viewer, you kind of have to remind yourself of that.
Yeah.
Because when I'm watching it, a piece of me sometimes wants to get mad at Shawn. Because I'm naturally inclined to root for Andy.
Yeah.
Just because the whole nice guy thing.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
good,
So you're naturally inclined.
good.
But then
Team
when I see
Andy.
you, Team Andy. So when I see you starting to, everything Andy does, by the end, you're kind of like, I see why he did that.
Yeah.
You know, even Shawn, when Shawn, okay, I don't want to get that far yet. But when Andy, everything Andy does, when he goes in, when he's with Melanie, when he's talking to Becca, everything he does, I'm like, I could see why he.
So you think it was a smart decision proposing to Melanie?
Okay, the proposing to Melanie. Now, your character goes on and proposes to Melanie. One of the most dramatic, okay, I guess we could say dramatic scene, where it's like pulsating, where you don't know what's gonna happen.
Sure, yeah.
And they did a good job of that.
Yeah.
And that was, why do you think Andy would propose in front of everybody?
I think there's a lot going on there, because I think on the one hand it's, you know, if nothing had happened, like if he had never had all this fling with Becca, like, it might be a reasonable time to do it, you know? Like, you're in front of your family, and I think that Andy and Melanie have a bit of a cutesy relationship that would sort of like the story of, oh, we did it at Thanksgiving, it was so cute, you know? But I think that, so there's that element of like, this is the appropriate time to do it, and I think the fact that he's doing it at Thanksgiving is a way of him trying to say to himself that nothing has happened. This isn't weird. I'm just going to do this here because this is when I would do it normally. And so there's a bit of him trying to kind of jam the idea.
Kind of like Becca.
Yeah, exactly. She's just like, okay, we're back together and everything's good. So I think he's playing that game too. But at the same time, I think that, you know, I think he kind of wants to show that he's like manned up a little bit to her. Because, you know, the last thing that she said to him that was, I think, really hit home was like, why don't you man up? You know, like she said that to him at the beginning of that scene, you know, the beginning of the bar scenes in episode 5, and he has been trying to man up since.
That's
and this
true.
is maybe one of those final big man up moments, is like, because, you know, Melanie's always saying, oh, you know, Becca's not your, you know, she's not just your childhood friend, she's more than that. And he's like, well, I just proposed to you in front of her, so you can't question.
Do you think he could have done it also as kind of a way to make himself never go after Becca again by doing it in front of Becca in such a way that...
Yeah, I mean, you know, like, it's like if you have people who, you know, you have a thing for and you've never really chased after it, but it's always there, you know, when you're around them, you're like trying to find things to do to kind of make it so that it's impossible for that to happen, because you know it's not going to be a good idea. And I think he knows, like, I need to kind of piss Becca off. I need to sort of like push her further away, because otherwise we're going to keep playing this game of, you know, you call me and say, you know, meet me at the lake, and then I do, and then you say you don't want to, and then, you know, and I say, okay, I'm going to leave, and then you call me 3 days later, you know, so that kind of stuff is like, I think for Andy, it's like, you know, he's a planner, you know, he wants to know what's going on in his life, and if this sort of back and forth is always happening, he's going to be a mess. He can't handle it. So lock it down.
Yeah, it completely looks like we said before, it completely looks like she's toying with everybody's life.
Yeah.
And that's not the case, but it must completely look like that to everybody.
I mean, if you were in her position though, like you'd have to do something, you know? Like you'd have to find a way to sort of build a responsibility to this knowledge that you have, whether it's maybe I'm going to do a little, you know, changing of people's destiny, or maybe I'm going to do a lot. You know?
Yes, this is true.
So
now, I will. Hey,
our
other co-host has shown up.
All right.
She's probably going to get situated, but we're going to continue chatting it up.
Great.
Now, what was the last thing we said? Now, Becca.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there you go. Sorry.
Hey,
Hello.
Hi. Good to see you too.
Now, okay, on to Jamie and Lolly.
Okay.
Now, Jamie, and I feel so bad for Jamie, man.
Yeah.
This guy, like what we were talking about, okay, regarding Becca, it's like she's doing her best to make everything work right, and it's like she's pushing everything forward. Like Jamie, he's going to the Dominican.
Yeah.
He's sniffing coke in the bathroom.
Yeah.
It's just nothing can go right for the guy.
Yeah. He's a bit of a self-destruction animal.
Yeah.
You know?
We saw that coming though.
Yeah.
The whole drug coke.
And you know what I'll say, I actually kind of love Jamie in that role. You know, I think in this episode, I mean, of course it's sad because he's falling off in the deep end. You know, but I also think that John Patrick, who plays him, like really shines like in those moments of kind of, you know, angst and frustration, and you know, like and also I think that we're missing that bad boy a little bit. We need a little bit more of a bad boy. We need someone who's making some really bad decisions.
Right.
I thought that was gonna be Shawn.
Yeah,
I know. He grew up a little bit.
I know he
so.
did. I thought it was Shawn all the way.
Yeah,
And, you know, he's turned a new page.
He's turned it. Yeah.
It's like
philosopher.
everything Becca's done. She's made everyone else's life either better or kind of miserable, but she's completely ruined herself.
Yeah.
Well, except for Jamie. She hasn't been able to help Jamie at all, but Andy's moved on. Looks like he's about to be married.
Yeah.
Shawn.
But hey, you know what? Maybe it's a good thing though, because think about it. Andy and Melanie never got engaged last time, and maybe the reason why they didn't was because Andy was so gutless about doing it, and maybe it's a good thing that Becca came in and kind of dealt with this obsession that he has, and maybe, you know, expired it, or I don't know, maybe ignited it. We'll see. In later episodes, I think you're going to realize it's not going away.
Yeah. I mean, anytime you completely try to like force someone out that obviously you had strong feelings for, it's going to backfire. It's going to come back.
Because you're basically going like, I can't have this.
Yes.
I
which
can't
makes
have
you
this.
want
Which you just go like, oh God, I wanted someone.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, I was saying too, I brought this up to Emily last week. It would be crazy if Becca came back pretty much to make sure everyone else's life is awesome and hers is supposed to suck. Like her life is supposed to suck.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like that would be so crazy.
That would be the worst.
That'd be
That'd be the
awful.
worst message of any show.
So,
Can I just go back to the future, please?
Like, you're supposed to make everyone else's life good. Great.
You've come back to be a martyr for everyone else.
Yes, pretty much. So that was my mindset going into this episode. Like when I was leaving, I was like,
Well, you know, I think as we kind of near the sort of tail end of this season, you're seeing a lot of we're seeing more consequences of actions.
tell us what
than,
happens. No, I'm playing.
Yeah, but you know, it's we're on a tailspin. You know, like I think that given the way Thanksgiving ends, and also considering the way that Thanksgiving shows normally end, you know, like Thanksgiving episodes tend to end with everybody comes back together and it's great.
Right.
And now we're ending this with like everything is off the rails.
Yeah.
Everybody's off in there. You know, especially that montage at the end. You just see everyone else either happy or leaving Becca's life, and her, you know, just left
with
nothing.
I can't believe Shawn left her too.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, but I think we were saying earlier, I think Shawn like sees a different Becca too. I don't think
Probably.
He sees,
I mean, because she's back. Like she's not her original self. I mean, she's back from the future.
Yeah, she's
So,
technically
she's
like in
older.
her 40s. Yeah.
Yeah.
Every guy after every crazy moment of this episode, I felt, like I said before, I found myself like just agreeing with him. Like when Shawn was about to officially said, you know, this is over and was leaving her.
Yeah.
I was like, I couldn't argue with him.
Yeah.
I was like if you were his friend, you would have told him to do that.
Right.
She's leading you on, dude.
Right. Right.
This isn't the way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
She left
just.
you at the altar. You
She,
know.
I know she left him at the altar. Then she goes back. on the outside, if you're not traveling in time with her, she looks insane. She looks so rude.
She does, I know. That's
know?
why her mom is freaking out, you know? She's like, you're crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Lolly's so crazy she believes her.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And speaking of Lolly.
Oh gosh.
Now, I like her little moments with Aunt Libby.
Yeah.
And as I call Aunt Libby, she's like an after-school special of what not to be. You know what I mean?
Totally,
And that's
yeah.
like, and I love how at the beginning of the episode, Lolly's like, oh, I love her. She's awesome. And
Right.
throughout the episode, she's just like,
She all freaked out.
Oh,
It's like,
Oh
is
my
this,
God.
is this
I
my
don't,
future?
do I
Yeah.
become her?
Exactly.
Is she me?
Exactly.
Was
We
it-
had so much fun, and the woman who plays her, Daphne Zuniga, is so awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, she's a '90s icon
Yeah,
in and of
Melrose Place.
herself. You know, which
She
is
was in-
amazing.
Yeah, and when they showed a 90210 in the beginning, and she was in Melrose Place,
Yeah.
it's a beautiful
Exactly.
connection.
I know, it's great, and we've had a lot of luck with getting some people to come back. But the thing that's always been amazing is the the quality of those actors. You know, like Daphne and Alan Ruck, both of them are just like, they're just such good, solid actors. And she came in and she brought this whole mess of a character to Aunt Libby, and it was awesome. We just loved playing with her. But yeah, and going to her getting. I think what Aunt Libby kind of did for me was it was Lolly's version of knowing the future. It was this moment to kind of flash forward and be like, oh, if I just keep doing what I'm doing, and I travel ahead in time 20 years, this is what I look like. So maybe she's getting a little hindsight too, because she's sort of
Right.
That's a
seeing
good.
this
Yeah.
That's
I,
a very good point.
I can see that because, like, in the clips for the next episode, you kind of see her, like, really questioning Becca. Like, can't you just tell me what
Right,
happened?
right.
Like, she's, like, really pushing her.
Right.
So, yeah, I think she's starting to.
What do you guys think it is? Have you figured it out yet?
Oh, gosh.
About why they
About
were-
why
why
they're
they
not
bro- why
friends.
they're not
I
friends.
originally thought it was something.
I thought it was just Jamie.
Yeah, I thought it was something with
But
Jamie
then she
and
saw
with
Kevin,
drugs.
or his name was Kevin,
Yeah.
and she knew who he was. I was like, oh,
Yeah, that was a little spooky. Something
maybe
there.
Becca hooks up with Kevin
Whoa.
in between Andy and Shawn.
Yikes, Becca, come on, slow it down.
You know, I don't
Oh.
know. Maybe
Breaking
Becca's
up
going
everyone.
crazy. Maybe
Yeah.
Becca's
I mean,
enjoying.
for two really best girlfriends to stop talking, there has to be something like major to happen. Like usually it's another guy.
It could be.
Those guys, man, they're always getting in
It
the
could
way.
be, or possibly. I thought that maybe she ruined. She got so in deep with Jamie, and then when she leaves Jamie, he goes, off the deep end, and being a worried sister, she blames Lolly.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
Lolly is kind of, as you can see from the last few episodes, she's very wishy-washy.
Yeah.
Even though
Yeah.
this episode she wasn't very wishy-washy.
Yeah.
Becca's making everyone better except her own life.
Yeah. It's very
So-
true.
So there's that.
The proproposal, though.
The proposal. Yes, we
Yeah.
see, we didn't get your take on the
I missed the
proposal.
proposal.
Yeah.
Proposal.
Yeah. What?
Your take.
Well, you went through a life-altering experience. You almost died, and sometimes when things like that happen, they put
Yeah.
things in perspective, and I
Very
think that's
true.
what happened.
Yeah.
I don't think you're truly in love with her. I think you're doing what you think is right, and what
Yeah.
you had a vision of your future life, and that was your wife.
You know what's scary is it's like what is the full version of love, in that scenario, because I think that Andy got two sides of the same coin. He got this like crazy, emotionally passionate sort of, love for Becca that is so clearly destructive to everything else in his life. Everything is falling apart. And then on the other side, he has this very safe, but maybe also a little bit passionate with Melanie kind of decision that's clearly good for his sort of safety, and he goes after that one. I just think he's scared.
That's like you need like a happy medium, because
I
I mean
know.
that's always a choice that people need to make, and
Right.
that's kind of like how Becca was in the future with your character.
Right.
She like knew he was a good guy and safe, but she didn't have that like passion.
Right.
So I mean,
And now you guys, it looks like you guys
It's-
like, now you're becoming more of a passionate,
Yeah.
angry, gambling on games.
Yeah, totally.
Challenging.
Totally. Yeah, but we get that kind of
Throwing
nice,
money at
cute
them.
moment, on the couch, which was
That was really good,
Which
too.
is a really fun. That was a fun scene to do, and I love this episode for many reasons, but I think I really love seeing more of Jesse's character, Melanie, kind of coming into her own. We see her kind of standing up for herself a little bit, but also kind of she gets to kind of play around with a lot of different things, and I'm so glad there's that moment where she says, you must think I'm stupid, you know,
Right.
that I'm doing this.
Yeah.
So that we at least know that she's not like a crazy person who just like is like, oh great, a proposal,
Right.
awesome, yes,
Yeah,
please, whoever.
Like, how desperate are you?
Yeah, exactly. Who is it from? You? Oh, great. Okay.
Come marry me. It's like Melanie's triumphant episode.
Yeah, it was.
Because it starts off
She
with
does.
like,
She's the only one that wins in the episode.
yeah, she does.
She is.
And she's like, throughout the whole episode, when she finally gets comfortable, she loves rubbing it in Becca's face.
Yeah.
Oh,
The
yeah.
whole time.
That look that they give each other in the
bathroom?
bathroom is so good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, can I come into your space? And then just in the kitchen when they're cooking, and
Yeah.
she's like so completely frustrated with Becca and the whole situation.
Yeah.
It was really funny.
And when she burned her hand, she's like, oh, you'll be all right. Don't worry.
Yeah. Oh, poor Becca.
Yeah. That was, yeah.
Should push her into the oven.
We used to joke that was the motivation behind every line that Melanie has. Just like, oh, poor Becca.
Now, the following, after that scene with Melanie and Becca, there's a nice little moment between Andy and Becca. Now, what did you think was behind that? Well, if you could.
Which moment are you talking about?
When she comes up to you and she's like, hey,
Oh,
congratulations.
at the picture?
Yeah.
At the picture frame? Yeah. Man. You know what? That's the most truthful moment, I think, of the whole of the whole episode, because for Andy, I think we suddenly see that, like, in a space where it's just him and Becca, he's going to say the truth, you know, and the truth is, like, I cannot be around you. But, like, he never says, I'm not in love with you, you know? Which he says, I can't be around you because it's not good for me, you know? And I think that's the real answer to the question of, like, is this over? It's not. It's just that someone has to take a stand for, even though I want this, it's not good for me, you know? Like, even though I want this, like, you know, massive keg of, you know, beer for myself,
Right.
like, it's not good for me, so I'm not going to, you know, do it. And Shaun's saying the same thing, right? He's saying,
exactly.
you know, what you want and what you can give me are not good for me, so I don't want it. So, you know, I think that moment is a real foreshadowing for what Andy is going to be going through when he continues to go down this path, you know? Make a decision, stick with it, but then, you know, whatever sort of consequences that decision has, you better be able to live with them.
Exactly.
Now, what about the moment when Shaun, they had the passionate bathroom sex in the big awesome bathroom,
Great.
which is, you know.
Yeah.
But after that, then when he left her, when he was officially breaking up with her, and then she brings up the sex, he's just like,
it
was just sex.
Yeah.
I thought that was a rough line.
It was.
That's hurtful.
It was.
I didn't expect
yeah.
Ouch. It's like a slap in the face.
When I think also coming from Shaun, who, like, I think for a while we thought that the problem was that it was that's all he wanted. You know, he just wanted sex. That it didn't need to be anything else. And then he says that line, which is that was, you know, sex was never the problem, which I thought is like perfect encapsulation of what Becca's problem with him was, you know, and suddenly it's flipped, and now it's Shaun saying that to her.
Right.
And so he's really done a 180, and I think his version of getting over, you know, the being left at the altar isn't to go back and win her back. It's to actually just go, you know, continue on to a new life.
Yeah. And we kind of see him showing up, you know, at the bar.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's going
With
on?
taco? What is
Yeah,
it?
tacos.
Oh,
Tacos.
tacos, because she eats tacos on Thursdays.
Oh, yeah.
So what's up with
I
Shaun
just
and
love that
Paige?
idea of, like, tacos?
Yeah,
Sure.
I know. It's like, oh, you
Everything's
got me.
great.
Yeah.
Tacos on Thanksgiving.
What do you think? So what's up with Shaun and Paige? I find that relationship a little mind-boggling.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
It's
I mean,
awkward. I
they're
don't know.
both struggling actors and struggling artists, I
Yeah.
guess. So, you know, he's artist, she's the actor. So I think they kind of have that in common a little bit. And I also think that it's a little bit about something new, you know? Like, I think Shaun wants a chance to kind of start fresh with someone with a new perspective, and I think he gets that a little bit, you know, with Paige. But I also think that Paige is, she's wise beyond her years, you know, obviously because of her childhood and because of what she's gone through. Excuse me, you know, she kind of has a real honesty about her, you know, that I think he's really attracted to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Paige just.
But Paige!
I know,
Why,
but
why are you so...
but Paige went on vacation with like his ex.
Yeah.
And I find that so, I guess, shady. Like just
Girls.
even though they don't like each other.
Yeah.
That's still kind of like she's okay.
I feel like girls love that kind of passive-aggressive tension
know.
atmosphere.
They're very competitive.
Let's just all sit in a room together. We won't get in a fight.
Yeah, and Shawn knows they know each other. I find that a little weird. That's the only thing he's doing I'm not really with.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not team
Well,
Shawn.
you know that he let her go on that thing, or that he knew.
No, that he knows Paige and Becca know one another, and he's
Maybe
like,
there's
whatever.
a little bit of a dig too. You know?
It's a little
Maybe
bit of a
he's
payback.
looking. Yeah, a little bit of a payback.
I mean, because he seemed pretty genuine when he went there with the tacos. You don't just bring tacos.
Those are genuine tacos.
Those tacos looked real, man.
Yeah.
He could have made them. He could have bought them. It could have been a.
He could have made them and then got the
Here's
bag from somewhere else and put them in the bag.
Yes.
Here's my question: where do you find tacos on Thanksgiving evening?
New York City, you find everything.
Yeah, it's true.
This is
It's
true,
true. There's such a. I feel like there's an industry for the food that you're not eating, like on the day that those people, you know, like Chinese food
That
on
would make
Christmas.
sense. Yeah,
you know,
that would
like,
make sense.
It's
But
1995.
but tacos on Thanksgiving, I've never heard of that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's not like
She
they can
doesn't celebrate
verify.
Thanksgiving, though. She said.
Huh?
She said she doesn't celebrate
That's
Thanksgiving.
true.
Right.
So.
Right.
It'd be crazy if someone like tries to fact check. 1995, was there a taco space in New York City?
Yeah, exactly.
You think so? So,
anyways.
was there? What did you not? Was there anything you wanted to ask? Because you missed a. We talked about the. Cause I know there's something that's on your brain.
You think something's on my brain?
I don't know, possibly. Okay, so
I don't know. I mean, you guys covered.
did you touch on Jamie yet?
You know, well, one thing I wanted to mention about Jamie is
Yes, mention it.
that I'm kind of upset that Becca knows what happens to him and she didn't try harder to stop him. She just was like, oh, we can watch movies and whatever. I was like, if that was my brother and I knew what would happen, I would literally be like jumping up and like grabbing him and just being like, no, you cannot go.
I agree. Although I will say, like, her acting on things with her knowledge hadn't gone so well, you know? It's sort of like, I mean, what does she say in the episode? She's like, you know, maybe like everything is kind of still happening, you know? Except for Annie and Melanie getting engaged, everything is still happening even though she's tried to stop it. Maybe the answer is don't try and stop it, or like, I don't know.
Well, maybe because like the whole car accident thing, maybe that kind of like made her think like maybe I shouldn't alter.
Right.
So, but that does make sense. But I was a little upset that she didn't try harder. to
Yeah,
stop him.
she just kind of let him go.
I mean, I kind of. What did you think was gonna? What do you think happens in the Dominican?
I think he gets lost down there, living like the life on the beach, partying, doing drugs, drinking, women, you know, everything.
He just lives Spring Breakers, the movie.
Doesn't ever
Oh,
go
okay.
back. Like,
I was expecting like a drug cartel issue, like he doesn't come back.
Yeah,
He's-
well, they say that, you know, they're going to bring cocaine back from
Yeah,
the
that's
Dominican
what-
yeah,
that's
Republic.
to
what it
make
was.
money. 'Cause
Doesn't sound like a good idea.
not smart.
Stanton is not a good influence.
Absolutely
drug
not.
cartels are never good.
No,
never
I would
good.
just say no to drug cartels.
Yes, just say no to drug cartels, kids.
Remember that.
Now, Lolly, her situation with Jamie. Do you think she did the right thing by completely? Like, it looks like in this episode she's trying to find herself, which is why she's completely and utterly like loving Aunt Libby. Her free-willing, like when she first talks to her Aunt Libby, her free-willing ways is like, this is what I need to hear.
Yeah.
This is what I need right now.
I mean, I think she's definitely like a little heartbroken over it and having second thoughts, but she thinks like in the long run it's the best thing to do. But I think she's gonna have a lot of guilt, you know, when she sees what happens to him. She's gonna blame herself. I mean, who wouldn't?
Definitely.
You know,
she's
he
already
completely-
getting ready for it.
I mean, if she stayed with him and he was all happy, he'd be sitting at the dinner table eating Thanksgiving dinner, not off in the bathroom doing drugs.
yeah.
So
Having his own little private Thanksgiving.
And then-
exactly. So
And then Aunt Libby, and then seeing, I love the moment with her and Becca. She's like, do I become?
Yeah.
Am I Aunt Libby?
Yeah,
yeah.
exactly.
that
What
was
did she
nice.
call her? Like the ghost.
Ghosts of Thanksgiving Future? or
Yeah.
something?
Yes.
Is he Libby the
totally.
ghost? Yeah, that was
Yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah.
And that I could definitely see that if she chooses, you know, a certain path.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, okay. Now, with the father,
Yeah.
I think that I like the things that happens with the father with every episode.
Yeah. me
And this
too.
one is like, it just seems like he's trying his best to hold everyone together. He's
Yeah.
always arguing. He has issues with the mother,
Yeah.
and his son's freaking out.
Yeah. He's trying to hold it together.
He can't.
You know?
He's struggling with
But
this.
but I think he's losing it a little bit, you know?
Yeah.
I thought that the father and the wife, even though it indicated that they were going to have issues, that they were kind of getting back together because, you know, since Becca's come back, like the whole timeline everything's like pretty much an alternate universe now.
Yeah.
But it seems like that's going back on the on the negative.
Their relationship?
Well, yeah. I mean, it seems like everything he's touching is negative. Like when he was arguing with the son.
That wasn't good.
Yeah.
So that kind of.
Well, he's that old school kind of like tough love kind of dad.
Totally.
Even though like clearly he's gotten a lot of passes, I think I mean, Jamie's gotten a lot of passes, but I think that like, yeah, I think Lincoln is trying to step up to the plate and control the family a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A special shout out to that awesome bathroom that he was doing cocaine in. That was a really
that was really cool.
You brought that up. That bathroom.
Wait a minute. Wait. Why was this bathroom so awesome? Other than it being extremely large.
No, the bathroom that's the stalls.
Yeah, the one in the bar.
The one at the bar.
Yeah.
Is like, I just love that bathroom for some reason. It's so grimy. Like it's just so.
Okay.
It reminds me of, the bars in New York City that, like the rock bars downtown that are
so they
just
did
like,
a good job of replicating it.
And it was just funny because like we were saying like on set, like they basically just brought some people in to basically tag up the whole place, so like they let these I think it was just a couple of girls that were like on the art department staff that just came in and took like a pristine bathroom set and just tore it to shreds.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It was so cool. We would like walk by and see them. I think one of the girls had these like massive dreadlocks, and she was just swinging around like spray painting. It was so,
carving in like,
awesome.
I hate
Yeah,
so-and-so.
exactly. That was so cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Now, for Becca, by the end of this episode, by the way the episode ends with her in the bed after they're drinking wine, everyone leaves the house, and she's just in her little fortress of negativity. I was gonna say solitude, but I was gonna go with negativity.
Yeah.
What exactly do you think she is going through her mind right now?
I mean,
it has to be insane.
Well, what do you guys think is going to happen next? That's sort of the answer to that question, right?
Yeah. All right. So, okay, let's do predictions. Let's predictions. Let's do predictions. Because I mean, we're all right.
I kind of jumped the gun on that one.
I know. No. We'll do it. All right. You want to go first?
No.
Okay. Well, I was gonna do a basic prediction. Say I don't think Andy's engagement lasts. I don't think it's gonna last. I'm guessing by the end of the season, it's gonna break. It's got to. I'm kind of team Andy, and I'm rooting for it.
Yeah.
I'm rooting for you, dude.
Yeah. Thanks, man.
I mean, I'm hoping you switch it up.
I'm hoping you switch it.
I'm hoping you have a. I'm hoping you.
Except you don't tie the knot.
Yeah. Even though I'm kind of enjoying Melanie now.
Yeah.
This show does such a good job of making you root for everybody.
Yeah, totally.
There's no real bad guys.
And yet also be so frustrated.
Yeah.
It's sort of like you keep the faith in people, but you're like, God, what are you... Like everybody on Twitter, last night after the episode was just like, what?
Exactly.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, exactly.
You can't do that.
There isn't really anyone that you can hate though on the show. There really truly isn't.
Melanie was that way for a while, I
She
think.
was.
But now she's got a little bit of soul and sass.
Last week, yeah.
Sass where you want it,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say that I say I'm team Andy, but I'm wishy-washy.
Don't go back on me now.
I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. I'm kind of like, I'm very Lolly-esque in that I'm, one moment I'm there.
You can be team Andy and team Lolly. It's fine. You just can't be team Andy and team Shawn together.
That's what's hard.
Although someone on Twitter said, I just hope that Andy and Shawn end up together. And I was like, maybe that is the purpose.
But it's been
We'll
right
kill
here.
Becca, and then we'll go to Aruba together.
All this time.
I don't like girls.
It's been me and you. Yeah. You? Thoughts?
Oh gosh. Well, I'm so confused and torn right now. I was really rooting for Becca and Andy, and I know that's really typical, and everyone was, but I feel so bad for Becca right now. I mean, I would be destroyed. I would just want to go back to my future. So,
Is that what you think is going to happen? She just...
I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think she's going to go back.
I always make a Back to the Future reference.
She's not. She hasn't done what she's gone back for yet.
Right.
So that needs to be figured out.
Right.
And then when that's accomplished, she's gonna.
Well, I don't think she's going to accomplish it this season.
She's going to have to go back to Xavier and figure out what the deal is with him.
Exactly.
Yes, Xavier. I forgot about Xavier too. Yeah.
But he's got some answers, I think.
Yeah, she needs to find Xavier and have a sit down with him.
Yeah.
But do we know if he's an angel yet? Have we made the decision that this guy?
He's something.
I don't know. He's an
maybe it's like maybe it's that a lot of people get to do this and they just happen to meet each other and they're both doing it, you know, they're both having this hindsight, you know, travel back in time thing, and they can help each other figure out what the, I don't know, I actually have no idea what the answer is.
I like how Emily
it's
makes
like her
it.
time travel, like.
Yeah.
It's like there's like a
Guy.
guru class, you know, where you can learn how to time travel.
I like how Emily makes it that even every time there's a conversation with Xavier and them, at first he looks like he's like, yeah, I'm the angel, I helped you out, and then he's like, maybe I didn't, maybe I'm just a weirdo, maybe I just like conversating with random people, and you're just like, wait, is he?
Maybe just a drunk at the bar.
Yeah, he could be just who just quotes, like says these random inspirational quotes like from the bar, like, hey,
Yeah.
sometimes the future is in your past.
He's a Buddhist.
She's like, oh, it was you.
Yeah.
You know, it could just be a
He's
big.
just like an internet, you know, telemarketer. He's just like, he's got lots of quotes that'll
Yeah.
help you
He's a
kind
really
of
good
buy the
sales
product.
guy.
Yeah, he's like, just, I need your credit card. That's all I need. I can help you out, but it's going to be $19.95.
It'll get you enlightenment.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay, so what was your
Predictions? Oh, I mean,
It can't be her going back. Don't. That's
no,
a safe one.
it's not her.
Don't be
I'm not
safe.
saying
Don't be
she,
safe.
I'm not saying she's going to
Okay.
go back. I don't think she's done what she's came to do. First of all, I'm not sure what she's came to do, but I think she needs to resolve that. I think that I just think her and Andy are going to end up together for some reason. So
Okay.
But at the end of this first season, you think?
I don't know about the end of the first season.
It's almost like you can't.
I think you're going to realize that you're not truly in love.
I can see that
happy.
happening. I don't see
You're
her.
going to be engaged, and you're going to be like, not.
Well,
Not
now the
satisfied.
pressure's on, right? Because now with the engagement looming, it's like you better be into this or not
Yeah,
into this.
you think you're
know?
doing. It's like you think you're doing the right thing, and
Right.
then you put yourself in that situation, and you're like, this is not what I want.
Right. Because backing out of an engagement is a little bit more common than backing out of a wedding.
Exactly.
You know?
It's
So
not going to leave her at the altar. Well, maybe you're going to leave her at the altar too. Don't
Yeah.
pull a Becca.
Yes, right.
It works so well.
Wouldn't that be
though.
crazy? Yeah, that'd be wild.
That'd
If
be
that
so
happens.
Like, God, we already saw that. But no, I think you're just gonna have to figure out
Yeah.
that. out.
Okay.
You have to figure something out.
Yeah, figure out what you want. But I
Yeah.
think that you guys are gonna end up together in some way.
All right. I don't think that. I think it's you and Shawn. I think you guys are gonna hook up. And,
Lovely couple. You
we're
definitely
just
won't
trying to
leave
be
him at the
progressive.
altar.
right, you know, just completely throw everyone on their butt.
Yeah.
All right. Well, Nick, thank you so much for coming.
Hey, thanks for having me,
Yes,
guys.
thanks for
Mr.
coming
Nick Clifford,
back.
Yeah, I
Andy
love it here.
himself.
Yeah.
No.
Thank you so much for conversating,
Yeah.
letting us know what's really going on.
What's
With
really-
hindsight.
What's really happening? You can always find me on Twitter at Michael Drew, Michael EAL_Drew, or on Instagram, Michael Drew right across.
You can find me on Twitter or Instagram at Laila Sadny.
And I'm on Twitter and Instagram at the Nick Clifford.
The
The
Nick
The
Clifford.
Nick Clifford.
The only-
Also, hit us on Twitter, hashtag ABTV Hindsight. Please let us know what you think.
Yes. And keep tweet. I can talk.
Tweet.
Tweeting us.
Keep twatting us.
Tweet.
Twat at us.
Keep tweeting us because we love all the comments and questions and feedback from you guys. So we really appreciate it.
Right
Yes.
on.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.